Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jae and Bae, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at MasterRuneterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poros snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the MasteringRuneterra podcast with Jae and Bae. We got a fantastic show for you guys today. Before we jump into everything, though, we have to thank all of our patrons over at Patreon for supporting us. Thank you guys so much for helping us, for supporting us. We would not be able to do all the things that we do without you, like make this awesome podcast. So thank you. Speaking of awesome things that are coming up in the Mastering Runeterra world, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are the finals of our championship event. So this is the 64 people that have qualified, 4 winners, the top 4 from each qualifier, plus 40 people from the points race of the last 6 qualifiers will be playing this weekend for their share of $5,000. Day 1 will be tomorrow, Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. It's double elimination. It's going to be the same format as Worlds. 4 people from the winner's bracket, 4 from the loser's bracket. It's going to be over on Swim's channel. It's going to be the 2 of us, Swim and Blevins will be your casters for day 1. We're going to play down to 8 players. And then on Sunday, day 2, we're going to start again at 10 a.m. Pacific with now Casa swapped in for Blevins. And we're going to play down to see who gets crowned the first ever Mastering Runeterra $5,000 champion, or whatever we want to call them. So come hang out, tune in, see who's doing the winning for seasonals, which is the weekend after. Real quick shout out also to Community Gaming for sponsoring the event, and also Riot Games for helping us out, giving us some in-game items for some of the winners, and tweeting out about the tournament. So yeah, come check that out. Ooh, one other real quick thing I almost forgot about. We're going to be holding some tournaments starting Monday, going all week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up to seasonals. These are going to be small tournaments, $5 entry. It's going to be 4 rounds of Swiss, cut to top 4 or top 8, depending on how many people show up.
Basically dailies.
Basically dailies, yeah. This is something that we're kind of trialing out to see if this is something that people like, if they want to play in it. If they're successful, we'll keep holding them. The plan is to open up the platform as well to let other people host tournaments on it. Eventually, if it all works out, also expand to Europe and to Asia, to the other servers. So watch out for an announcement on that. Will be happening sometime this weekend. You can just go to masteringruneterra.com. We'll have the info up there under the tournaments tab. Okay.
With all of that 3 minutes of housekeeping done.
Jeez. So much. I mean, it's exciting though. We got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I want to touch on it a little bit though, because people don't really know what it's like behind the scenes. Being a host, being the one putting stuff on, running everything.
Busy. That's what it's like.
It is a lot. I realized this when I started becoming the person in my family that started hosting the dinners, like the get-togethers, and it's
very similar, actually.
Yeah, you got to do all the freaking legwork. Everyone else just comes and shows up, has a good time, and leaves. And then you got to clean up after, and it's like a whole, like you put in hours and hours and hours of work, and it's exhausting. And eventually you're like, why am I doing this again? Maybe we're having Christmas at your house, Grandma. Screw this. And it's like that for running tournaments. And I used to I remember people that ran Magic tournaments and were kind of like, I'm losing out money or I can't increase the prize pools or whatever. And I always be like, I don't know, you guys are making money. You're a store or whatever. You're selling cards for crazy prices. And yeah, maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. We certainly are not selling any cards or anything or making any money. So I don't think people really understand. We've worked for a solid year now. It's actually coming up on our 1-year anniversary. I looked it up. It's March. This is episode 51 I'm pretty sure. So I thought
51.
episode 52 would be
Yeah.
our 1 year, but I think at some points we released
doubling?
we doubled.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're actually ahead of schedule. Our first one actually went out March 5th. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Not
at any
quite a
rate,
year.
we're coming up on a year. We're 1 month away, which is wild actually, because it feels like it's been 3 years or something.
Yes.
It feels like
Yes,
absolutely
it does.
forever, not 11 months. But in that time, we've made close to $0 probably. We've probably put
we cashed out. We cashed out one time.
we did.
It was enough to like buy dinner a couple times, I think.
But I've definitely put my own money into things as well, looking back. And so I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, it's darn close to 0, or it might even be a negative for me. I haven't kept close enough track. But so we worked for a whole year basically, and we have made basically no money. And we're building up a brand. We launched the website. The Discord's popping off, the Patreon has grown, and the trajectory is that we will make money hopefully at some point in the future. But man, is it a slog to work 40, 60, 80-hour weeks and make no money, and do that for a solid year, and just get pooped on by people when your tournaments don't get run properly because you're not good at them. Pointing at myself.
This seems personal.
Anyone at home. I'm just saying that I have the utmost respect for anyone that runs tournaments, Runeterra or otherwise. But all the Runeterra, shout out to all the Runeterra people, online league series, Runeterra Life, Max running his charity tournament, everyone,
Runeterra Academy. Huge league.
Yeah, they're on a tight ship over there.
Rather flawlessly, by the way.
Oh, the amount of work those guys put in.
Oh my god!
With their spreadsheets and their statistics and the run streams and organizing people, they're not making any money. Basically all the money, the vast majority of the money that they took in is going to prizes. And so hats off to all these people, because it's a huge sacrifice. And it's a lot of work, and I don't think people always understand that. You just assume they're making money. You get paid, right?
Yeah, of course. People pay entry fees or something, right? Yeah.
This is your job. You're getting the advertising money or something, or Riot's hooking you up, or nah. Basically, everyone's doing it.
It's mostly out of pocket, yeah. So community run tournaments are the ones that they're community put on. So give some love to the tournament organizers and everything, because they're doing a lot for not a lot or nothing or negative. But yeah, that being said, it's been really hard. We've been putting a lot of money and time back into the MasteringRuneterra brand. Really proud of what we've built though. Yeah. In a year. And like you said, the trajectory's up. Yeah, 11 months. And we have these things starting now. We're getting to the point where the light at the end of the tunnel is we can see it. You know what I mean? See it. Yeah. We can see it. It's right there. We have the website, which is doing very well. We're starting to run all these tournaments, and if we can do these things like daily tournaments, that is something that helps us put more money back in to MasteringRuneterra, and just really grow it, which is what we really want. MasteringRuneterra has become a name, an actual thing in the community. I'm not going to say a household name at all, because it's more strictly in the competitive community, right? MasteringRuneterra. But it was just an idea, less than a year ago, and here we are. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I can't wait for our 1 year anniversary. I'm gonna be pulling up the first podcast ever. Yeah. So funny. I don't know. First off, I look 10 years younger. I look like I've aged a whole freaking decade or something. I'm like, Jesus, who's that guy? It's taking a toll. But also
organizing.
Also, I don't know. It's just it's funny. Just seeing how far we've come. The border.
The border,
hilarious. And I got pulled off Fiverr.
So I released that YouTube video where I was talking about my growth on YouTube and everything, and how I went about everything. To put some info out there, and someone commented, "Hey, I watched most of your videos, and I really like this one, so I wanted to see how far you came. So I went back and watched your first video, and it was really funny to see. And I was it can't be that bad, right? Oh my god, dude! I think I sent it to you.
You sent it to me, and it's
Oh
hilarious.
my
You're
God.
so for anyone
I'm
that
like-
can see me currently, yeah, Majin is like stiff as a board, like as if he's like frozen. He's like, "Hello, everyone. Today I'm Majin Bae, and I will be showing you a." He's not like trembling that, but he's like, you're just talking and totally like,
and I'm like
frozen,
not
stiff.
looking because like the webcams are weird. Like I'm currently looking at the in the camera.
Oh, it looks
of
like
the
you're
web-
looking
and
up.
it looks like I'm looking up, so I have to look below it, but I have to kind of guess, right?
Oh, that's funny.
I have to guess about where because I don't know.
So is it
So I have to
supposed to
look
be so like
underneath
you
it.
can look at your screen, but then it looks like you're looking into the
I
camera?
have no idea. I have no
Because
idea.
this is me looking into the screen now.
Yeah,
This is me looking into the camera. And
Yeah,
I don't
see,
wanna
I
look-
can't
I
do
want to be
that,
able to.
yeah.
I want to be able to look at you though, because
I'm looking about an inch and a half,
we're
2
having a
inches down. This is
conversation.
about where I like look when I want to.
Oh
look
yeah,
in
it
the
still
camera.
looks like you're looking up.
Yep, it's so I have to guess. So, but I'm looking into the camera in the YouTube video because duh, why wouldn't I look into the camera, right? I want to look
Yeah.
into the camera. So I'm looking into the camera and I'm looking way above it and I'm just, hello, my name is Majin Bae. Welcome to the channel. Today, and there's like some lo-fi music in the background or something that sounds really weird. And I'm just like not relaxed at all. It's so bad, man. And which is
Yeah.
funny because like I was streaming at that point, but there's something different about recording.
Oh yeah, so
It's
different. We've
so
gone
different.
to that.
Yeah.
We've gone to that before. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
especially trying to like read a script or something. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
very,
did
very
script
different.
it, and then like literally after that video, I scrapped the idea of scripts. So I like scripted
Yeah.
the intro, and then I was like, "Screw that, man!" So now I just wing it. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I just pull up the deck and I go, and I just start talking. Like
It's also more fun that way.
it is so much more fun. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, we have come a long way in 11 months. I'm very proud of everything that we've accomplished so far, and the future is very bright. I'm excited for this year to see where we're at come January 2023, because like we went this far in 11 months from literally nothing, literally like no Patreon, no Discord, no podcast, nothing, to like now we have Discord has like almost 2,000 people in it. Patreon is bumping. Websites popping off. Now we're like running
we're running like big tournaments. Yeah.
We just ran the biggest grassroots tournament ever in Runeterra.
I think
like, ×2. I think the biggest one I was told was like $2,500 before.
Okay.
And so
probably.
yeah, I mean certainly since we started playing. Yeah, like I don't know, we just made it happen, which is pretty cool. And so and things are kind of like ramping up, and things are like starting to go faster, and as things bring in a little bit more money, that we can like we reinvest them into all the different things we're doing. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to where we're going. Looking forward to maybe getting paid one day too. That'd be nice. Just saying.
That's a myth. I don't think that actually happens.
Will actually happen, yeah. That's one of the things. Like the whenever we make a little bit more money, there's just like more stuff for it to spend on.
Reinvest it. Yeah.
So
like, we want to do this thing.
Now we need this. Now we need that. I'm like, will that ever end? I'm like, I think we need an even better website, like an even bigger tournament. And
we should for the year anniversary, we should take enough money out of the budget to buy ourselves a bottle of champagne each.
Oh my god, yes.
During the podcast.
That is a fantastic idea.
It's like a $4 bottle of champagne.
Just a little baby one.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny one. Anyways, we'll talk
about
nice
actual though, right? To have something.
It will. To a pat on the back. You got to get something. Speaking of which, we're going to be running subscriptions soon on the website. So if you want to support us, you can jump over there. It'll be similar to the Patreon, which you can do now. Anyways, let's talk about some Runeterra. So
let's do that. As
we were saying, this weekend, boom, 64 absolute crushers, some big names up in there are going to be fighting for $5,000. That's a I was thinking about what does second place at seasonals get? Because first is 10K, drops to like what, 3,500?
3,500, yeah.
And then we should ask, what's the Henneke prize?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 800 or something. It might be 12.
I think it is. Yeah,
but it drops off a cliff after first.
Off a cliff, because it's only 20,000 total prize pool. First is 10. That's it, right? And then second takes another huge chunk, and then
it pays out to 32, but 32 is like $120. So like I always forget about it, and then they send me $100. I'm like, why do I have this?
Like, oh yeah, cool. I'll take it. But anyways, yeah. So first place is going to get 2,000 if memory serves, and second place is going to get 1,000 because the top 8 breakdown. So $2,000 is equivalent to like third, fourth, but somewhere between third, fourth, and second in seasonals, which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
And so some people are going to be making some real money, and we got some of the best, some of the absolute best in NA.
I mean, not the best though, right?
Because
I'm not in it.
Because we're not in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's going to be like fantastic. It's going to be some like really good matches. We're coming up on seasonals. This meta has been real interesting. Qualifier after qualifier, week after week has been like not what we expected at all. I was expecting Ahri Kennen just ape slamming because it did make 7 out of 8 spots way back.
The first one, yeah.
And it kind of just dropped off a cliff for a while. It was only have like a couple spots, and they like weren't even. They're like weird like Freljord versions and stuff.
Yeah. The rally one,
yeah. So, and that's really exciting. I mean, we're gonna have it on Swim's channel, as I mentioned. It's gonna be kind of a big deal. Gonna be big production. Well, ish. I don't want to promise things. Yeah, bigger. We're still doing it. We're still doing it out of our living rooms.
Still us,
yeah. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this meta. Sure. So first off, though, it's gonna be 64 people. A lot of them kind of know each other. You know, they're known quantities. A lot of them probably playing Runeterra Academy. You know, a lot of them qualified like last week. You can see what people were playing. What are you thinking if you were going into this tournament? Are you gonna go for your? Because like if you were playing in seasonals, you probably bring in your 3 decks you think are really good, go crush. But if you're playing like a 64-person tournament, are you? Yeah, are you thinking you try to metagame it a little bit more? Try to like maybe target some of these like Ahri Kennen, or like we've seen Lisa and Zoe do really well. For anyone that doesn't know, yesterday at Runeterra Academy, what was it, 2 or 3 people like 3-0'd?
3 people 3-0'd with Ahri Kennen, Lisa, I think.
Yeah. And our team has been
our team's pretty high on it because 2 of the people were Kever and What Am I. Just on
that kind of explains it. Yeah.
They're pretty good, I guess.
Still MasteringRuneterra team. Let's be real. So yeah, like you got to think a lot of people are going to be looking at that and either bringing it or like coming to target it. So how does that affect your thinking? Like, what would you be bringing if you were playing tomorrow?
I mean, probably the Ahri Kennen, Lisa, and Pantheon Shyvana. People can come to target it, but like the best part of that lineup is it's really hard to target that lineup without bringing like some crap. You know what I mean? Like you sprinkle in a little bit of not very good stuff. The lineup looks to ban Ahri Kennen, even though the lineup runs the go hard version of Ahri Kennen. So you run the Mirror Breaker version of Ahri Kennen and you still ban it. That's
just so good, right?
It's
also
so
like
good.
Also you're gonna get rolled on that Lee Sin matchup.
Yeah, on the Lee Sin and the Pantheon.
Yeah.
What Am I did bring Thresh Aurelion Soul, which is to me a trademark What Am I deck. I can never win with that. Which is every time he places well in a tournament, I literally bust it out and play it that night, and I never win. Every single time. Yeah. We're on like the 5th iteration of this now.
I honestly wonder, like, he plays a bunch of 1-ofs, and I wonder, like, on the ladder, people are like, I don't know what they have. Attack with everything. Attack. Mm-hmm. And whereas, like, if you're playing in a tournament, you can see the deck list. You're like, oh, I don't know. Like, you could have this or that or this other thing. And, like, people kind of, like, psych themselves out and try to play around things too much.
Yeah. That totally could be it. The deck also has a lot of, like, invoke stuff with telescopes and priestess and star shapings and whatnot.
Options for days.
So many options. Yeah, so many options. But, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happens on ladders. I just get ran over, and I'm like, darn. But yeah, I think the Ahri Kennen, Ahri Kennen Zoe Lee Sin is like such a strong starting point. And then you have to get into some decks like Bandletree, Darkness. Darkness is a good deck, but Bandletree I don't really like very much. Some Lee Sin counters. They exist for sure. They exist, but the main one just being Ahri Kennen. And if that's off the table because you want to ban it anyway, then Lee Sin goes way up in value.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're going to see coming into seasonals. That yet again, this has happened. I don't know how many times. Lee Sin's like, not a deck. Best deck for seasonals.
I wouldn't be caught dead playing it on ladder.
Yeah, and it's been like that for forever.
Bad. Yeah. Speaking of ladder, by the way, the ladder is nuts.
Booming
right now.
Let me give you. I need a tie right here. This is bull crap. Okay, this is absolute. Like, what is this? The one I'm like, I don't climb the ladder. It's like, what am I? We'll run it up to 500 LP or 550, then just like sit on it every single season. I never climb. I'm like, I keep going 7-2 and not making it because I don't climb the ladder. I'm like, okay, this season, gonna get it together. I'm gonna like, okay, like bust it up 500 real quick. I'm like, will this be enough? Maybe I'll need 550, whatever. I'm like, oh, wasn't enough. Go up to 550. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I got it. And it's like, no, turns out this is the season. We're just like, everyone just printing LP. Like there's no freaking tomorrow. And now I still have to like keep climbing. And after all my work, I might just not even make it at all. Cause who knows, right? Who knows how much time I have and like if I keep winning or whatever. And it's like, God, freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? The one season. This had to be the season. Anyway, that's my whole rant for like.
Yep, it's pretty ridiculous because we've pushed to 500, then 550, and going you're totally safe each time, and then come to find out you're not totally safe. And so yeah, I pushed from 500 to 550. I pushed from 550 to 620. I was fourth on the ladder, like a strong fourth. And then I woke up and I was like 12th.
So it was like 600 even safe now or no?
I don't know. I don't think so. Hold on. Let me pull up the leaderboard for you. But yeah, it's insane. Everyone is just playing. It's like watching inflation of LP in real time.
Yeah, so I'm like, I got a bone to pick now with this system because like, first off, it is unfair in a sense to people that like have like jobs and families and like not enough time to grind the ladder. Like the difference between 7-2, 8-1 is massive. But I was always like, I don't know, whatever. Reward the people that put in the time. Like, that's fine. That's cool. But now with this nonsense of just the never-ending grind, and there being a lot of people that can like, it's just going to keep leapfrogging. There's probably like, I don't know, 60 of us all trying to get this like 30 spots, and it's like it's so much work for a thing that you realistically should go get if you want to try and top 32 seasonals, but at the same time is like such diminishing returns on your time. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And so we've talked about this before. I want the ladder to matter, but like I really hope that they touch this system. If they can improve upon it somehow. I don't know. Maybe you can't. Maybe this is just it.
Maybe it's the best. Yeah.
I think though your idea of doing it through Gauntlet makes a lot of sense, because then you can still get rewarded for consistently good play and not have to just grind the ladder for forever, because
to put it in perspective, 600 LP would put you 26th right now.
Oh my god. So we're trying to get to top 30. Trying
to get to about top 30, yeah.
They're locked at top 30. So you probably need more than 600 LP, because there's still another week left, a full 7 days of grinding LP. My plan is basically just like go into next week and just like try to hit it hard and just like all or nothing, like just 1 or 2 days.
I mean, if you don't make 7-2, it doesn't matter what you end up as long as you're not dropping below like, I don't know, 150. Like as long as you're qualified for seasonals, there's no difference.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. So just run it. I'm probably gonna sit on 622. I think I'm at. And just kind of see. I might have to play a couple more games. I would really like to not have to play a couple more games, because the stress of like losing one and you lose 25 LP and you're just like, oh my god.
And now you have to win like 3 or 4 games.
You gotta have to win 3 or 4, yeah. And winning 3 or 4 in a row is like kind of tough, you know?
Yeah.
It's not easy. Doable, but not easy. So, yeah, I really hope people stop playing ladder.
It's weird because, like, on the other hand, I also do really like the system. If I had all the time in the world, I'd be like, "This is awesome. This is fantastic." But I don't. Yeah, it's been a wild ladder. Like, what exactly?
We're real quick, since I know people are probably wondering. They don't watch every episode or follow us on a bunch of stuff. We're both on Ahri Kennen on the ladder. You're running the Shurima version with Absolver. I'm running the Go Hard version, although we're both very high on both Sai'nen and Seedling.
Yeah.
You're running 2 Sai'nen, 3 Seedlings. I'm running 2 Seedlings, 3 Sainens.
Yeah. I wonder if I should be switching. It's quite possible I should just be switching. I've mostly just beat everything, and so my results are super skewed.
Yeah. If you're winning, why change?
Well, because it's, there's a lot of, the ladder is not good testing for like tournaments.
Sure.
One big issue. Also, it's harder to improve because you can make lots of mistakes and be winning still, right? It happens all the time. Yeah.
Not to me. I never make mistakes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or win.
Or win.
Yeah, what do you think of this meta? Because it's normally people will be like, I haven't seen a lot of people with their pitchforks out trying to get Ahri Kennen out of here. I'm sure there are. For sure.
I mean, yeah, people are upset.
The deck
about
is insanely dominant.
I think
typically
more
when something
people are
is
upset about Poros than they are about Ahri Kennen.
Yeah, at least they were. On day 2 of Poro Mania, I was speaking with some people at Riot. They're like, "What do you think of this situation?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't think Poro's going to make it, but that Ahri Kennen is going to need some touching." And I was like, got there.
Yep.
I wasn't 100% sure when I made that prediction.
Worked out. Yeah, Ahri Kennen obviously is going to need touching. They definitely need to not touch it before seasonals, though.
Oh God, no.
That would be miserable.
They won't.
They won't. If they'd have done it at the beginning of last week, that would be the final cutoff for me, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to not touch it at this point. It's too close. Now, I do think that half the reason why people aren't pitchforking Ahri Kennen as much is
Tell me.
It's so skill expressive. And
do you think they're beating it a decent amount of time with players that are not playing it particularly well or something? Because if you're just getting dumpstered by a deck repeatedly, there's no way you're not.
Yeah. No. Yeah. People hate it, right? People hate it, but it's not nearly as hated as TF Fizz or Aziralia. Let's talk about that, right? Aziralia had a much lower win rate, I think, at the higher levels. But Aziralia just felt miserable.
Yeah, well, they attacked you on an axis that you couldn't really defend against.
Couldn't really defend against, yeah. And yeah, Ahri Kennen sucks and everything.
But you can kill an Ahri.
You can kill Ahri. You can kill droplets, yeah. Yeah, and the top players, yeah, we want it nerfed, obviously, but it is benefiting us as well because we get to play the deck that if you're the better player, you're going to win more. It's just just how that one works. Which I think is leading to this huge inflation of LP. Is the best players are constantly winning.
Yeah, it's the whole situation is just strange to me though. I don't know. There must be a lot of people that are pissed off about the deck. There must be.
Yes. No,
it's winning so much, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it as nearly as much as with other stuff. I don't know.
Or even Sivir Auction, I saw a lot more hate for that than I did for Ahri Kennen. Yeah. Now, when I posted a video about Ahri Kennen, a lot of people are like, Ahri Kennen, blah. But not nearly as much as if I'd have posted a video about Aziralia during the Shuriman Desert, people would have pitchforked. They'd be out in mass.
Do you think? Okay, what do you think of this? What do you think of this theory? Ahri Kennen it often kills with a bunch of paper cuts. It hits you, hits you, and then okay, it'll finish you with an Ahri. But it's not like Lee Sin Zoe where you do nothing the whole game, and then you're like Hadouken, and you just off them, or TF Fizz where you don't do a whole lot and you slam the 7-man mind meld, or even was it Azir Aurelia was it would just punch you super hard, right? It was hit you with the student or whatever, the one drop for 5 or 6.
You could block, but it doesn't matter because I'm just going wide.
Or just one turn, they were just blades, and you would die. And whereas Ahri Kennen, there's a lot you get to do your thing.
You get to cast cards.
You get to cast cards and do stuff and interact and kill some of their stuff. You die eventually, but
I think that's actually exactly what it is. I think so, hate, right? There's especially among less experienced players, let's say it this way, there's an illusion that none of your cards matter when you die to Lee Sin, right? There's you have, if Lee Sin combo kills you, you lost the game before that point, very likely, right?
Yeah.
The game might have gone on for a few turns.
You just didn't know it.
But I already beat you. You just didn't know it. Yeah. Same thing with TF Fizz. If I get to do this burble, iterative burble mind meld thing, I already beat you. I probably beat you 2 turns ago. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And Poros is kind of the same way. People hate getting 20-0 because they have this illusion that oh my God, my opponent just had it. There was nothing I can do. They're not even interacting. And that's not, okay, maybe with Poros, but that's not really how it works. especially with a deck like Lee Sin or TF Fizz. But I think it feels that way to people. And Ahri Kennen does a lot of things. It does a lot of things. It doesn't 20-0 you, like you said. I mean, sometimes it does, but you're losing that game anyway. Come on. Like, right? If they're 5 wide with a leveled Ahri and they absolver her, you probably like you lost a bit ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like that. It feels more like your stuff matters if they squeak it out on you than against like Lee Sin.
And you get to play your cards and like they do things. Like, you get to hit them for damage. You're not just running into Dragonlings. You get to kill their things, and they die sometimes.
And the damage sticks, which is important.
Often enough. Yeah, that's another good one. But yeah, the deck obviously needs to get touched.
It's way too good. It's way too good.
Yeah.
How would you? I mean, this is like a common talking point. How would you?
What'd you do? I mean, I like your idea of Twin. That Twin needs to get touched. I think that's the starting point for sure. Bring Twin. This is what you do. You bring Twin down to +2 or +0/+2. And then you also give Nasus Fearsome. And then you start there.
Nasus should have Fearsome again. Yeah.
Come on, Riot.
Nasus should have Fearsome.
Fearsome back.
Bring back Fangs, man. Bring back Fangs. He's a 2/2 for 4. Come on.
Poor guy. We got new cards coming soon.
We do.
Wait for that.
We do. Yeah. This week, the next few weeks are very exciting for not just Runeterra, but it's incredibly exciting for me and us. We have the MasteringRuneterra stuff, right? Runeterra Academy, the playoffs is happening. For any of you other Flesh and Blood players, we currently have spoilers for that game, which I'm tuning into every now and then. Then we have seasonals week 1, spoilers for the next set, seasonals week 2. New set. Like, it is a jam-packed couple of weeks if you're a Runeterra player.
Yeah, new season and new competitive. That announcement is coming out somewhere in there as well. So it's a lot of stuff to look forward to. Speaking of seasonals, I am yet again. Not only have I played only one deck for the majority of the season, thus the deck that will be auto banned during seasonals, but also I'm not even there for the cutoff. I'm like the best. I'm like the worst of both worlds. I'm like trying to make the cutoff and then also get a bunch of tournament testing in.
Instead, you can't play random decks on ladder because you lose your LP, and you need to try to make the cutoff. You should try to push it.
And I can't play in the freaking tournaments because I'm the one putting them on.
Yes, that does suck.
I'm hitting up. What do you think of this? The tournaments that we're running next week, the little $5 4-rounders.
You gonna jump in those?
You think people have a problem if I play in them?
No.
I'll put my money in, right?
Yeah. You pay for it.
Yeah. There's no it's random pairings. I'm not I just felt like if I started winning some of them though, people would not be happy.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Yeah. They can suck it.
I don't care. I want to play the goddamn game too.
I mean, you are going to have no hand in these. Ones you'll be playing.
I should be playing.
We have someone else who's going to be running the tournament. There's no conflict of interest here.
No.
It's also like a casual tournament.
I'm also going to lose most of them. Let's be real.
Yeah. But it's very good practice.
Yeah. If you imagine you couldn't bring an Ahri Kennen lineup, what would your next thing be for seasonals?
That's so tough because like I've given that zero thought.
Yeah.
Right. Like, why would I ever consider not bringing Ahri Kennen?
Well, I mean, I bet people have probably asked you for your recommendations, right? Like, hey, bro, I can't play this deck. What should I play? I don't know why they sound like that. But
yeah, hey man. I usually tell them to start with a double Demacia shell, something like Sivir Akshan and Pantheon, and then pick a third deck. Like, because that shell is Sivir Akshan, Pantheon, or double Demacia, right? Pantheon, Lux Jayce, or whatever. And then a third deck. The best third deck is just Ahri Kennen because it's Ahri Kennen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so easy to slot in. What is going on with Lux Jayce? What is that deck about?
It's a mid-range killer, basically. It loses to the biggest Demacia deck, which is like Pantheon at the moment. But you can't lose to scouts. You beat a lot of these on the board aggressive decks like pirates, even sometimes like fighters and stuff, because your dudes are big.
Yeah,
your dudes are big, and then if you have like Lux or Jayce on the board and they stay on the board, like you just kill people. Right, you cast these 6-cost spells, it gets doubled, you get a bunch of Lux things, you start gunning stuff down. Now, like, would I ever put that over Pantheon? No, definitely not. But if you're looking for double Demacia lineup, maybe you don't like Sivir Akshan for whatever reason, Lux Jayce is an option. It does not beat Pantheon. You can beat Pantheon, but it's not a favored matchup. So there's that. And then on the like complete opposite side of this, well, farther down the spectrum is that Warmother's control deck, the Demacia one.
What? Okay, yeah. I have no idea. I heard that this was doing some winning. Oh, okay. Because for a second you're like, yeah, it's not so bad.
It's not that bad. I'm not bringing it to a tournament, but it's not that bad. It beats control decks, which like so many things beat control decks right now. But it beats the bigger Demacia decks because you're the biggest Demacia deck, right?
Oh,
you beat Pantheon. You beat Sivir.
What goes in the deck? Because I thought Warmother's Call was like Failure to Shadow Isles or something.
It's like 12 mana card that like summons a unit on top of your deck, and it does this every single turn.
Right.
And you play Tryndamere, you play 10 mana Cythria, you play Trundle, you play Tiana, the 8 mana 8/8 with Tough that rallies.
Right.
And then you just play like 9 ramp cards.
Okay, it's literally a ramp deck.
It's just a ramp deck. You just ramp and cast 12 mana cards, except you don't actually play Field of Rush. Yeah, and that's the deck. This other one. So you beat decks like Pantheon because you're just like, hey, my things are bigger than yours, and they're like, what? That's not allowed. And then but because you went so far down the spectrum, yes, you crush all these middle Demacia decks, but you lose to Scouts again because it's too fast.
That's funny. You went too big.
Yep. You went too big. You flew too close to the sun.
Ironic.
But yeah, we could see something like that, right? Like if we're having this arm race of like who goes slightly bigger than the Demacia lineups, then like going biggest like might have some serious value, right?
Yeah, for sure. What about the other pillars of the format? So like the control lineups or the aggro lineups? Like what's going on with those right now?
So the aggro lineups right now, there's like 2 of them. You could do like the board-based aggro, which includes Scouts. They're more about beating control decks. And then there's the burn aggro, which are about beating the mid-range decks, mostly Demacia, like Pantheon and Sivir.
Right.
The burn decks start with something like Spiders and Draven Rumble, maybe finish with Pirates. And then the other one is something like Scouts, Poppy Zed or Poppy Lulu Rally, right? The Ionia one, or Lulu Zed, or whatever combination of those you want. And then some third deck that also beats control. Could honestly be anything. You could put like Thralls in there, right? Because the emphasis is about beating control, not actually just being aggressive. You know,
right?
It's about what you're attacking, not how you're doing it.
Exactly.
And so yeah, there's like 2 different ways to approach that. Both are weak and strong against different things, though.
Yeah. Speaking of decks that I can't remember off the top of my head, what was I just?
You're talking about control.
I lost it. Hold on. There was a deck that I wanted to cover. It's gone now.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about control then.
Sure.
Darkness
was start with darkness.
All over the place for a while.
Yep.
Why has that kind of fallen off?
Scouts came back. Demacia came back in a big way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you
Field
can
Rush,
tech
Field
to
Rush,
beat
same
these
thing.
Things. Same thing with Field of Rush. Yeah, except Field of Rush is much better against the burn decks than Darkness is. Darkness, I think, is more middling. Like it is good against them, right? But like Field of Rush crushes them. You run like sets of Whale, right, and Blighted Ravine and Avalanche.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
But yeah, both lose to Scouts. Darkness loses less hard. I think Darkness is, if I'm going to build a control lineup, like it starts with Darkness. I think that's the best choice. The question is, if you're building a control lineup, is A, do you ban Ahri Kennen? Because if not only do your decks change a little bit, like maybe what you pick, how you build each deck changes like a ton, right? You're maxing out your one mana ping spells in Darkness. You're running either 3 go hards, you're running 3 group shots. You're maxing out on your whales and maybe playing 2 or 3 copies of the box.
Let's talk about that for a quick second. I don't think group shot is actually good against Ahri Kennen.
It's better than not having group shot.
I guess so.
I agree with you. Yeah, but like you cannot play against Ahri Kennen and cast a 1 removal spell a turn.
No.
Not if that's your axis, right? Not if you are trying to control the board. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. The problem that I found that they had though is when they had cards like group shot, it's like your deck is just full of poopy cards now, and you're just gonna burn a bunch of them, and I'm gonna outcard advantage you.
Yes.
And you're just like, we're gonna go to turn 7 or 8, and you're gonna be like group shot, cool, and I'm gonna be like Sai'nen.
There's the thing though. Most people still aren't playing Sai'nen.
What is with this? People
are catching
nuts.
on. People are catching on. But like,
I even in our Discord, Blasphemer, I went into, people were streaming. I forget who exactly. Some of the team, some of the people in the community were streaming, and I jumped in and I was like, "Oh, we're playing Ahri Kennen, cool. I got some of this." And I was like, "All right, so we're just gonna draw a Sai'nen here. Like, we're not playing any Sai'nens." And I was like, "Excuse me."
the Sai'nen,
What?
like, so if you, here's the,
And then you know what the answer was? You know what the answer
Go
was?
ahead. I would love to hear it.
Darkodius played this list. What? They were lucky I didn't ban them on the spot. Unbelievable.
Banned and reported. Blocked on Twitter. So, yeah, the thing about Sai'nen, this is why I don't like bringing control and not banning Ahri Kennen, is because if your Ahri Kennen opponents bring the Sai'nen Seedling package, the matchup flips. Right? You're winning with Darkness. Your 3 group shot is crushing Ahri Kennen. But if they have 3 Sai'nen, 2 Seedling, all of a sudden your pink spells are less good, and they just
play the rest of this game without Sai'nen, and they ran out of cards.
What? Who does that? I have 10 cards in my hand.
I always have 10 cards. I got to figure out how to use all my cards because I'm drawing cards too fast.
It's like, I don't want to burn cards. Yep.
Yeah. It's a real problem. You got too many cards in hand, too much stuff on the board. Just crushing your opponent from every axis known to man. God, that's good.
It's
we should enjoy this time because they're not going to let us have this ever again.
I know. It's so sad. This is like one of the first cool Ionia decks we've seen in a while that are like Ionia, right? The best Ionia decks in the format have not been Ionia decks. They're Targon decks. They're Demacia decks. Mostly Demacia decks, honestly. Or Shurima decks for a while. It's the first Ionia deck we got. And it's going to get absolutely butchered.
You know what's funny, though? They did.
They did, yeah.
It was even crazier. Yeah, I remember Ezreal Kennen.
Wayfinder hit double Kennen every time. Yeah. That was insane. Seedling came off 2 turns. Could you imagine that was Sai'nen right now? That was a good preemptive hit, by the way.
Even back in the day, Droplet used to have a tune.
Droplet had a tune! What? Could you imagine? Oh my god, dude. Ahri Kennen would be the first tier -1 deck if Droplet still had a tune.
Yeah, like actual unbeatable.
It would literally like 80% win rate. It would be unbeatable. Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't even playing Sai'nen back then either.
Nope.
Didn't need it.
You wouldn't even need it. Drop it would never die. You'd be maxing out on like recalls and retreat returns.
Yeah. Not
that really matters because it didn't happen, so whatever. But yeah, Ahri Kennen gonna be. I want them to give this deck the Sivir Auction treatment, where it's like still good.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I want to be able to play this deck. It is one of the most rewarding skill expressive decks we've ever seen in the entire game.
Is this the best meta we've ever had? It's one of them, right? It's got to be one of them. I'm not talking about ladder, of course.
Not ladder. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck about ladder? Ladder is always a joke. There's always some decks like I can't beat that.
Something's going to be the best deck in ladder,
and it's best of 1. That's how it is. Talking best of 3, and best of 3 has been good for a long time. We've had even like the worst best of 1, the absolute worst best of 1 ladders have had fantastic best of 3 metas. It's almost as if they should lean into that. Riot, I know you're listening. You guys tell me.
That's why I want to see the more emphasis on Gauntlet. But we don't need to get into that. We get into that every episode.
Yeah, okay, back it up.
So, yeah, I think the best of 3 meta is quite good. The problem is I don't like a best of 3 meta where there's an auto ban. And right now there's kind of an auto ban, right?
Well, I mean, what does that matter? Because here's the thing. There's only 1, right? There's not 2.
There is only 1. It's not TLC Thresh Nasus.
The real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this more than ban pink yellow meta. That wasn't very fun for me. Yeah, I like this meta. It's good.
I'm like pulling up last week's decks because like they're nutty, and I just saw that one of our teammates has broken the website. Thanks, guys. I'll have to go fix that. Anyways, so the winning lineup, Ahri Kennen, Lee Sin, so good. The winning lineup: Kindred Viego playing Warmother Darkwater Scourge, Zilean Xerath, and Poros was the winning lineup. I'm going to say that again. Poros, Zilean Xerath, and Kindred Viego. If you picked any one of those decks to be in a lineup that was going to win, good on you. Let alone all 3 of them.
What was the second place deck? What was the second? The
second place
better. Yeah.
Second place is Spiders, but the Iceborne Legacy version, Elise Trundle, with Pantheon Shyvana. Okay, sure. But playing 1 Judgment. What the heck? And then Kennen, Ahri, Mono, Ione. Oh no, sorry, two absolvers. Never mind. So okay, there we go.
So,
there you
yeah,
go.
Kennen,
So,
Ahri.
but it still
Was
has
there
the
like a-
spiders.
Was it? Oh, there was a triple landmark deck in semifinals, I think. Triple
So then we
landmark
go on third place. We have Jayce Lux, Talia Malphite, and Zilean Xerath.
Xerath, by the way. Yeah.
Sorry. On like what is that lineup? A lineup that only Grandpa Roji could love. Jokes. And then fourth place, we got Yost with Kennen, Ahri, but Relentless Pursuit. So this one plays Scattered Pod and then plays the one rally to go search it up. Pantheon Shyvana, yeah, Action Sivir. Okay, a little bit more of what we're expecting. But still, though, like fifth place.
Of decks. Yeah.
Yeah, Pantheon Tarek this time, Action Sivir, Fizz Lulu. That was the deck that I meant to bring up that I could not remember a second time. I gotta go through these real quick. Sixth place, JT Amanda, Kindred Viego, Darkness, Lurk. Okay. Seventh place, this is the Kennen, Ahri only Ionia with now Pirates and Spiders. And then eighth place, we finally see a Zoe Lee Sin alongside a Kennen, Ahri. Again, though, the Relentless Pursuit version, and then Pantheon Tarek. So, like, and every single week, it has been like this. It's been like, oh, hey, we had like 5 Rumble Dravens, and then nothing like that. And then we had all like Feel the Rush, like Darkness, and then like nothing like that. And then now we have like a bunch of Xerath, Zilean, Poros, Spiders with Iceborne Legacy. Like, it's been totally different every single weekend, and the combinations of decks also have been like just wild. And like I don't totally understand it. I don't really get it. And other than I figure the meta is just really good and you can just play lots of stuff and be successful.
Yes. That sounds about right. You
right?
can play
So
lots of stuff
that
and
means
be successful.
That means it's a fantastic meta, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like this meta. I do. I do. Also, I get to play Ahri Kennen, which I love that deck, man. It's so good.
Yeah. I gotta say that people must be criminally underplaying it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because basically,
anyone
if you're
who's not bringing it is underplaying it. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens this weekend, and then obviously we'll come back after, and we'll talk about what happened the previous weekend in the championship and the repercussions and our expectations for seasonals. That should be a fun one.
Yeah, because a lot of people are going to be looking at this championship this weekend for what they should be bringing, and it's a little bit skewed. Because I wonder if an anti-Ahri Kennen lineup will rise to the top. Because it's definitely possible in a 64-person tournament like this, where half maybe are bringing Ahri Kennen. You could probably hit a 50% mark, whereas you're not going to see that at seasonals. You're not going to see half people bringing Ahri Kennen.
No, definitely not. Yeah, we'll have to see. So yeah, tune in, Swim's channel. Be a good time. Do we have anything else before we wrap up?
No, that's it. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Good luck at seasonals. I guess we'll have one. We'll have one before that. And make sure to look out for those tournaments that we are running starting on Monday in the evening.
This Monday.
Going all week. Yeah, this coming Monday. And then by Friday, we're going to try and have like 3. Like one starting at like noon Eastern, and then I don't know, like 4 Eastern, 7 Eastern, something like that. But check out MasteringRuneterra.com. All the details will be there. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Well, hopefully, if not next week. Peace.